Dear friends, in this series of the heroic women in the Bible, especially in the New Testament, today we learn about a woman, Samaritan woman. The detailed description of this is given to us in Gospel of John chapter 4. There was no usance between Samaritans as well as Jews. In the year 422 BC, when Assyrian king captured Samaria, he took away all the Hebrew male from Samaria and he placed Assyrian male. Therefore, the children born of the wedlock between the Assyrian male and Hebrew woman were called Samaritans. Therefore, they were always looked down as the low caste people. No Jew would talk to them or eat with them or drink with them. But we see here in chapter 4 of Gospel of John, Jesus identifies with the entire humanity, especially even with the Samaritan. With the Samaritan woman, he identifies his own thirst. Though he is a Jew, between me and the Samaritan woman, what is common is the thirst. Therefore, the Samaritan woman comes to the well in the afternoon when nobody sees. And there Jesus waits for her. And through her, Jesus gains entry to the entire village. Samaritans hated Jews as well as whichever Jews also hated Samaritans. So much so, one day when Jesus was going towards Jerusalem, Samaritans did not allow Jesus to pass through their country because there was a lot of animosity and hatred against Jews and Samaritans. But Jesus always picks up the Samaritan as the best example, the oppressed person of the community. Jesus picks him as the example. For example, in the parable of the Good Samaritan, it was not the priest who helped the man who was victim in the hands of the brigand, but a Samaritan who showed compassion. Therefore, this time Jesus waits for that Samaritan woman at the well, and when she comes there, Jesus begins to converse with her, asking for a drink. Shocked at the words of Jesus, that saying, "You are a Jew, I am a Samaritan. How can you ask me for a drink?" Because she knew that there was no usance cultural friendship between Samaritan and the Jews. However, Jesus begins from physical thirst and he speaks at the spiritual thirst. If you knew who is it asking for you water, you would have asked from him the living water, which you need not to come every day to fetch here. At that point, the Samaritan woman says, "Sir, the well is deep and you have no means to draw water. How can you give me living water?" At that time, Jesus says, "Whoever drinks from this well will thirst again, but the water that I will give to the man will spring in himself the springs of living water." At that point, the woman says, "Sir, give me that water so that I need not to come every day here." At that point, Jesus says, "Go and bring your husband." The Samaritan woman says, "I have no husband." We see Jesus slowly entering from thirst into the personal life of the woman. And Jesus says, "Yes, you had 5 husbands, and the one who is living with you is not your husband." At that time, having known that Jesus knows about her personal life, the Samaritan woman says, now wants to change the conversation from personal life to theological issue. She says, "Sir, you all say that we must worship in the temple, but if our people say we worship on the Mount Gerizim." But the Lord says, "No, God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." At that point, having heard about the Messiah, the Samaritan woman says, we believe that there is going to come a Messiah, and when he comes, he is going to tell us about all these things. At that time, Jesus reveals himself to this Samaritan woman. "The one who is talking with you is the Messiah." Immediately, the Samaritan woman leaves her jar there. She runs in haste and tells our villagers that there is a man here who has told me all that I have done in my life. Well, might he be the Messiah? And the entire villagers come and listen to Jesus. And at the end of the chapter, we read, the villagers tell Samaritan women, "We believe in Jesus not because of your testimony, because we have heard and because we have seen." The greatness of that Samaritan woman, having learned about Jesus, she did not keep it for herself. Rather, she went and she brought the entire village. So much so that the entire village forced Jesus to stay with them for 2 days. Therefore, in and through the Samaritan woman, Jesus also makes peace between Jews and Samaritans. Jesus lived with them 2 days. Nobody is outcast to God, to the heart of Jesus. Because in each one of us, the Lord sees His own image and likeness. It is we human beings who differentiate people based on caste, color, language, and region. But Jesus crosses all boundaries. His blood was shed for everyone. His body was broken for everyone. Therefore, Jesus goes and makes friendship with the Samaritan women. How much of oppression and discrimination we make among ourselves based on region, based on caste, based on color. Here, let us learn from the Samaritan woman to be the harbingers of peace, to bring people to the light and love of God. I wish you a very good day.